Come have some fun and watch some games. Time to get crazy. It's night and day. Yeah. Night and day, back again.
Yes, we are back. Back in the world of Life is Strange.
Oh yeah, we're ready to dive in to see all of our choices and how they weighed up against those of all the other humans in the entire world who've ever played this game. And yeah, should be pretty exciting. We're gonna also talk a little bit about the ending and the major implication it has moving forward for Max and the entirety of the human race. Because if she can make changes like that completely change everyone's lives, then she's not just dealing with herself anymore, her own little circle.
Exactly. So I am curious to see what the implications are going to be like moving forward with Chloe's family, and like I guess if Chloe having this accident is kind of like bringing that family closer together at this point, or if it's just the fact that like Chloe's mom and dad, obviously they had a good relationship prior to this, but now it's literally just Chloe that is having the issue, or having like such a terrible like thing happen in her life. So it's basically someone has to pay that cost, is what the implication is at this point. So I'm curious to see if it's just Chloe that's gone through this negative, this downfall, or maybe there's other like unforeseen like things that are going on in the background as well. Because we don't necessarily know what's going on entirely with the whole Nathan scenario, and there's still the fact that Rachel is still missing in this. It could be the case that Rachel is still missing. I guess we don't know 100% if she's still missing or not. But there's still something going on in the background, and like we saw with those binders and all the folders way back when. So I'm curious to see if that has shifted at all, or if now that Chloe is in this state, which is terrible, if that is going to have any changes to do with who that is or what's going on in the deeper kind of realm of the mysteries within Arcadia Bay.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's two elements here that, it's great that you brought it up. There's the microcosm of Chloe and her family, and then, we've got this back and forth where is it actually worth it? Like, now Chloe's in a much worse position, obviously, but her father's alive. So you've got this trade-off of the microcosm of her family, but then what you're bringing up is, what about the bigger picture of all of Arcadia Bay? There's not just one life that's being impacted by all of these things. So, I mean, William being alive could have far greater impacts. Maybe this will allow us to get to a point where we can save Rachel or find the dark room or whatever it's called, the dark place. That'd be funny if the dark room was just a dark room for developing pictures. It was just like totally on the nose.
Right. It's just like, I mean, Rachel was into like modeling and I guess photography and stuff like that. So
they just opened the door. Oh, there she was.
Yeah.
She's just developing photos the whole time.
Yeah, this room was so dark I couldn't find the handle for like months on end. She's like eating pictures.
But I mean. Yeah, so we have to try and weigh overall the pros versus overall the cons, because Max did take that photo when we were back in Timeland. So she should have a photo that theoretically she can use to go back in Timeland again to try and reset reality again if she needs to. But we have to weigh it first and see, has everything changed for the better despite Chloe's tragic situation? And then big picture and small picture, because it's so interesting at the small picture level. Like, yes, her father is alive, but she is now totally paralyzed and it's just horrible. But she might actually prefer that if given the opportunity. The father would possibly prefer death and to keep his daughter intact if given the opportunity. And the thing that makes it super interesting is that Max can know the outcome, because if you ask I'm a father, right? So if you ask me, okay, would you die for your kids to have a better life? Then it's like, yeah, absolutely. Would you die for your kids to have the chance to live? Yes, absolutely, no question. Like if my death would let Trevor and Nathan have the chance to live, absolutely. But then it becomes, Max knows the future outcomes. So would I die to let them have a better life? Yes. Would I die for an unknown for them? Yes. Would I die if I knew that my death would let Trevor live, but he would be a freaking heroin junkie for the rest of his life?
Yeah.
And it just like, he would spend his life in alleyways and like, just total garbage. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Right.
At that point, it's like, if you know the future outcome and all your life does is buy your kid like a worse life.
Yeah. Right.
Then in that case, then it's not necessarily just the straight yes every single time.
Yeah.
Right. So if she knows the outcome where, okay, now Chloe's alive, but William's alive, but Chloe is X, and Chloe is happy. Maybe they would all prefer that if everybody had the ability to know what would happen, because Chloe's life was downward spiraling. Yeah. She wasn't a junkie though.
Yeah,
she was she wasn't a heroin junkie. She wasn't hooked on the hard stuff where she was completely out of her mind, addicted.
Right.
But she was, using drugs the first thing that she did every day.
Literally, yeah. As soon as she wakes up, like, I can't function basically without using like drugs or weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was drinking constantly, just trying to find a way out of the pain that was in her life.
Right.
And I guess also the anger that she had pointed toward her dad, because she even yelled that like this was her dad's fault for leaving her.
Yeah, that's still
which is still like
garbage.
An outrageous way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like blaming someone that has zero control over the outcome, and you're just putting all that blame in one spot.
Yeah, you don't blame the victim.
Yeah, right.
That's more of Chloe's like horrible decision making, but she was in a downward spiral, but she wasn't total garbage. So I think William would still say, if he knew all of what we know, he would still rather him die to get her even to that level of life, because like she can recover from that point.
Oh yeah,
she can get things straight. She can also not recover. She can get to a worse position, and
she's on that fine line right now. Yeah.
But she can still recover. So I think from that point, William as a father would still say, yeah, he's fine with making that. So I don't know if they'll ever be a part of it, or it's just us as Max, who we get to make those final calls.
Yeah.
Or the game might, force direct a final. But anyway, the implications are so just that you could do anything from this point.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see where it could go because of that foreknowledge that Max has that you don't usually have if you get to make one of these sorts of decisions where like, oh, you have to decide, this is a heavy decision, but you're going to take it because this is the one standard outcome that you will do based on just unknowns.
Yeah, right.
And that's what you usually get to work with.
Yep.
But Max, we have to try and figure out, learn as much as we can about all the outcomes.
New world, basically.
For Chloe, for William, Joyce, we don't know if she's still alive or not.
Yeah, true.
And, everyone in Arcadia Bay. Like, you saw that shot of David driving the school bus really quickly.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh, and that's supposed to, I guess, be a feel-good moment for the audience. It's like, look, everything's going great.
Yeah.
And David, who was mean, is now a school bus driver. I'm sorry, I didn't hate David. Like,
right.
He seems like a good person to have working security. Like a paranoid guy instead of a super lazy, like laid back, cool with everything type.
Foot on the desk all day watching the monitors instead of actually doing something about it.
Yeah, he was hounding Kate for the wrong reasons because he thought she was into drug trafficking or whatever, but that's a security guy. Anyway, I didn't think it was a happy ending to have David driving the bus, so to me, like getting him back to a normal security job would be better. But anyway, the point is, everything. We got to try and find everything and try and set the most positive path back for the entire universe without blowing everything up with a goddamn tornado.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're gonna go over all the choices that we made, but before we do that, we wanted to just give a quick shout out. We found, as you saw, this crashed a couple of times. We're gonna cut out the vast majority of that for you, but we did find the solution on a Reddit thread. Thank you, Reddit, once again. So, there was this thread where they were talking about this game crashing, going to a black screen on PC, and not being able to move forward from there. Apparently the same problem happens on Xbox as well sometimes. We've been told that this version is more buggy than the original. In any case, we found a cool thread. This one person named NP=N.
Yeah, right.
He told us what to do, or he told everyone what to do.
But I guess, we can dive into some of our choices in episode 3. This was a little bit of a long one. but like the way it ended was crazy. So let's see what got us along the way here, I guess.
Yeah, a longer episode with fewer choices because the other ones had 5.
Yeah,
but
right.
Anyway, these were the major choices anyway. So we left versus stole the money. That makes sense that one's closer. Some of these other ones were much more one direction or the other.
Yeah, definitely.
So it makes more sense. So we did leave the money. Most people steal the money. I think leaving the money is probably still the best thing to do unless we find out much later, like we talked about before, that money was actually had nothing to do with anything beneficial and it was all just totally corrupt bribery money to keep Nathan out of jail or whatever.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So like it puts a larger target on our back, which is why we didn't do it. And so yeah, maybe we're in the wrong, or maybe we could have been more in the right by taking it, but why take the risk?
Yeah. Even then, if we don't take it, then it doesn't get them in trouble later in the future, even if it is like corrupt money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then the next one, kiss Chloe versus not kiss Chloe. We could see doing that if their relationship has more time to build, but at this point in the game, we leaned towards not kissing her because they seem to have been playing Max as straight up until that point. And like while they had a really good friendship, or it wasn't that like completely insurmountable or completely indestructible friendship, because Max didn't call her for 5 years. So out of the blue, let them have time to build that back up. And then if they want to do that, sure.
Right. Yeah, it just didn't seem like there was the indication. They did kind of have some slight implications that Chloe and Rachel had somewhat of a relationship there. But with Max, the timing has been very short over the span of like her and Chloe getting back together. In reality, it's only a couple days.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tension still built up of like them not seeing each other for the past like 5 years. So yeah, I think if they want to build that up in the future, they can. But at that point, it's just like it's doing it because you have the option to do it, as opposed to like it seeming like it would make a lot of sense to do in the story anyway.
Yeah, and when we were in that part also, it seemed like Max was doing it just to be daring, and Chloe was doing it more so to like test the waters and see to potentially actually build that relationship.
Right.
Those are not the same goals at heart. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And also, nothing in the past that we've seen showed that Max was like into her in any way when they were younger 5 years ago. Like it didn't seem like it was always friendship forever instead of lovers, or like let's have a relationship or anything like that. So it just seems sudden for a 2-day period. The first time they've seen each other in 5 years, and nothing in their prior friendship was in that direction. So anyway, I could see doing it potentially if we get to the end and we find out there's a lot more from both of them in that direction or in that vein. Exactly.
Yeah. If there's more romantic ties like as they build in the future, then we could like potentially revisit that if they have another decision similar. Or I guess this would make a little bit more sense. But yeah, as for right now, I'm happy with how we played it so far here.
Yeah.
And then the next one, you sided with David versus you sided with Chloe. That one's pretty significant, leaning towards Chloe. Understandable as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to take Chloe's side, and we took David's side mostly to help Joyce and Chloe instead of just doing David's side because he was right or whatever. He had some decent points, but not enough to like stab Chloe in the back for. It was just a matter of like everyone at hand is going to benefit from not blowing this out of proportion. And until we have more evidence, and if we can point at David and say he's a real piece of crap that is doing like all this stuff, then obviously we can cross that bridge later. But as for right now, try and keep whatever semblance of family that Chloe has and Joyce has like together in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah, the fallout. Joyce seems happy with David. David seems happy with Joyce. Yes, there's conflict with Chloe, and that's only natural because Chloe doesn't like David replacing William in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And David hounds her and some of her friends, and we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
He's overly paranoid, and overly aggressive, but security's his job. I mean,
he has some like initial paranoia around everyone around Chloe, which I mean, and it's proven that he still cares about Chloe. So it's hard to say that he's 100% the villain in that. When he is still like helping Chloe out. She would have been in prison if it wasn't for him at this point. So it's not like he is not doing anything for her. It's just, it's obviously there's tension, a lot of tension there. So you're trying to relieve it, and obviously there's no way to play both sides on this. So
exactly. That's what we would have really done. Like, side with David and explain to Chloe as we're driving to the next location or at the diners, like, no, we did this for Joyce. We used our rewind, and this, like, when we had an argument here, Joyce was devastated.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Or she wasn't devastated, but she was super angry. David was angry. You were still not happy. So that's why all this happened. Like, we're trying to keep everything good with Joyce and David. Do you really want Joyce to have this big problem?
Exactly.
Just because, like, we can figure out a different way to deal with David another time. Like, explain to Chloe she's still on her side, but there's no shades of gray.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
That's the real situation we would have had. We know you can't do it in this kind of game, but that's the normal rational talk.
Right.
So yeah, it makes sense that most people in this case would have sided with Chloe. On this one, I still think we should have sided with David because we again did it for the greater good, which is still funny because of course a couple of scenes later, right? We destroy David and Joyce's relationship anyway. But she had no idea she had photograph butterfly effect time travel powers before then, so there's no reason to make that assumption.
True. Yeah.
So she still did the right thing at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the next one was you got Frank's dog hurt 4%. Yeah, that makes total sense.
That's probably just people testing to see what happens.
Exactly.
Like, this is like achievement hunting or something. Like, this is just like the most obvious choice in the world, unless the developers really put in something else to kind of make that pan out in a very roundabout, interesting, beneficial way.
Right.
Then like, do you want to kill a dog? Like, what?
The very first time.
Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. If I can only imagine if this is someone's first like playthrough of this game, and then like they finally get the opportunity, and they're like, "Yes, I just always wanted a game where I could kill a dog."
Then they would play like Fallout.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's plenty of games where you can kill a dog if that's your thing.
The developers just have a tracker on who's choosing that first. It's like, we're flagging for psychopaths. Yeah,
they're just submitting that list to the FBI.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easiest choice in the game so far.
Exactly.
96-4. It's like, why is this even a choice? Like I said. No, we don't have to.
Yeah.
Developers, unless there's a creative, super crazy consequence to this later, then this is way too obvious to be even a choice that they should have presented.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like we weren't even timed in the freaking RV. Yeah. If the dog came back because of that, it would have made sense.
Then it makes way more sense. Exactly. Like, as soon as you find what you're looking for, the dog breaks in and or it starts attacking the RV or something like that, so you have to run. Right. That would make sense.
But but they put zero consequence that we could tell to leaving the dog alive. Yeah. All right, so now we're actually, for the first time, going to click next here.
Right. We're usually just hopping on board to the next one, but we apparently have some other smaller choices.
Yes.
We can dig through.
So thank you to Immortal4134 who told us this in a comment. Thank you very much, because we had no idea that this existed where we could see the minor choices. And it's very interesting to check these out too. So let's check them out.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
This is cool. Yeah.
Thank you again, Immortal. We really appreciate it. That's the kind of hint that's in no way spoiler, so it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
So Lisa is alive and Lisa is dead. Is Lisa the rabbit? Or the plant? The plant.
Lisa is the plant, yeah.
So our Lisa is dead now?
Yeah.
How?
I think maybe we watered it too much.
Huh.
So maybe, you're not supposed to water every time you have the option to.
That's difficult to be able to know, unless
it really
at some point in the game that Max has said, "Oh, I'd better not water her too much," or
Right, yeah, exactly.
Huh. Maybe she did say that after we watered her this time, or one of the times, and we didn't remember, and we could have just intuited that and rewound right there.
Yeah, potentially.
Anyway, okay, great. Killed a plant. But now, after the events of this, Lisa might not even exist.
Exactly.
We just changed all of history.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now we're in a dorm, and who knows what dorm we're in, what our interests are anymore, like all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we helped Warren with his exam. Or
67%.
Warren with his exam.
I do not remember that.
Oh, that was changing his grade.
Okay, yeah. That was when we were questioning, like, he's the best student in the freaking college.
Exactly.
He should have had an A on his own. Anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
So,
all right, so interesting. And then on and not on the Vortex Party Club list, both 9 and 91%. Okay,
wow,
so that's good.
Yeah.
That's when we're with the majority, and this time we agree.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Still, not a part of that. You erased some names from the Vortex Club list, or you didn't change the Vortex Club party list. Yeah.
I didn't remember that one either. It's been so long since we played this.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall exactly which part that was, but I can't think about it right now. Yeah, it's been so long. But I'm sure we're gonna go back and be like, oh yeah, that makes total sense as why we did that.
We didn't change their list.
Oh, the answer phone message.
Answer phone message.
You erased the answer phone message.
Good old answer phones.
Yeah, exactly. I remember answer phones. Yeah, we erased the message. Not the majority. It's close, but yeah, 44%.
I would assume the people who didn't skip it by choice. They just didn't find it as an option.
Potentially, yeah, that could definitely be the case.
Because we try to click on everything in the environment.
Yeah.
Sometimes to our detriment, because a lot of the stuff are like random offhand comments on a magazine.
Exactly, and sometimes when it's timed, that's what's like eating into all of our time. But yeah, sometimes we find really cool random stuff too. So every now and then it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we did help Alyssa.
Yeah.
Okay, most people did.
Yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't really cost you anything, I guess, in that regard. Yeah, we warned the homeless woman.
I wonder if if Alyssa's gonna hate our guts now because she was not in the Vortex Club.
Oh, right, yeah.
Max is not only in the club, but like fairly high ranking. If freaking whatever her name is, Victoria is apologizing to us. Yeah,
right.
He warned the homeless woman. Most people did not. I still like telling the homeless woman the truth.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. She was very cooperative and she was like chill with us. So.
Crap.
We did not leave a mark on the fireplace.
We could have drawn something on the fireplace just to like. I'm not sure what kind of final.
For the future.
Yeah, just to point out as proof that we could time travel or something.
Right. Oh, that would be. Yeah, I didn't even see that, and you went by the fireplace, so that's interesting.
Yeah, you suggested throwing the keys in it. Well, we saw that at the end with the snow globe, which we
Right.
will include that part with all of our reloads and not reloads.
Yeah, right.
But we were by that time. Unfortunately, we were much more concerned with getting the game to actually run again than like fully exploring the environment. So that one we missed, but I wouldn't say that's 100% on us.
Yeah, that was chalked up to technical frustration.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Just make it go. No, crash again. Okay, back to the drum. Just make it go.
Yeah, right.
We've seen that scene a lot, guys.
Yeah, exactly. We were around that fireplace for so long. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. And it's not like we were in the minority either. A lot of people didn't see that. So if we had saw it, chances are we would have done it. But I mean, again, we're trying to figure out everything else. So
yeah, you're probably right. It's more like people didn't see it rather than they intentionally didn't do it.
Yeah, right.
Like the other one.
Exactly, like the answer message or whatever.
Answer phone.
The answer phone message. Yeah.
Thank you for calling. Answer phone. Please leave your message after the tone. Thank you for calling. Answer phone. Please leave your message after the tone. Thank you for calling. Answer phone.
It's like 5 Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, so yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. This was amazing. This was great. This was what we're done. Yeah. So yeah, this one did not have a build. It didn't have a ramp up. There were a couple of heated moments, but it was all that final scene where it was like they were trying to pull the rug out from under you, the happy dun dun dun.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't get us quite as much because we saw it coming, but there was not like a lot of actual going on.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of like just continuing on the same train as no pun intended with the whole saving Chloe thing. Yeah, just keeping it on the same track as episode 2 of just like getting down to like what's happening around Arcadia Bay and what's happening with Rachel and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of escalates to a certain point in this episode and then just kind of stays there. Like for its entirety up until the very end, when it's just like through the roof. And yeah, I'm sure if people didn't see that coming, it was just going to be like a mind-blowing shocker. But yeah, when you have so much happiness going on, and there's got to be a trade-off somewhere, and of course they're going to show you right at the very end, like, oh, this is what tampering with like the time force or continuum will get you. So yeah, I guess I wonder if there'll be a way to go back, and and Max is going to want to go back and actually like kill William to save Chloe in the future. But like, yeah, only time will tell as we continue going into episode 4.
Yeah, or potentially, if we had chosen differently on the other choices, if Max had kissed Chloe and then Chloe and Max had defended Chloe against David, would Chloe have been calmer on the drive home? And then, like, Chloe was like, oh, everything's going to hell, my life is total shit. Everyone leaves me except for you. And then she leans on Max, and then she kisses her again, the relationship builds.
Right.
And then we're at this point where Max would like potentially do anything for Chloe.
Right.
Whereas the way we played it, it's more like Max is trying to help everyone.
Yeah.
Generally, save the world still, stop this vortex.
Yeah, right. Still, like, siding with Chloe where she can, but everyone else is still a priority.
Yeah, don't let Chloe just treat other people like garbage when certain things are Chloe's fault.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, this could have different implications or different emotions hitting at the end, depending on where you were with Max and Chloe.
Yeah.
And how differently that pans out. Another thing is, oh man, this has, of course, a ton of potential ramifications. The first time that we were in this might not be the first time through the loop. Like, she could have already been the one that was trying to help Chloe for something else, and that's how William died.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's
that
so
could have
true.
been the second or third or fourth or fifth time through the loop.
Yeah, right.
Instead of this being the first time that she really tries to fix everything, this could be the 8th time.
That's true.
So, the implications are so crazy, and the power of photographs is so intense now that she could go and do that with anything.
Yeah.
And maybe the more she does it, at certain points she forgets. And that's why, like, she keeps being drawn back to photography as what she has to do with her life, because she rediscovers it and like needs to have the photos on hand, and there's this subconscious draw to make sure that she has access to every photo she possibly can. But she keeps forgetting, depending on how these things pan out. This could be, or it could be more, even at the basic level that we're seeing it here, it's still added more depth with the photograph time travel deal.
Exactly.
Where if this is the first time through, and this is now the new first or second timeline that's been created instead of the 8th, where Chloe's in the wheelchair, then it still has major implications. Does she go back and try and fix it again, or does she keep messing things up more and more and more every time she does? So this is great.
Yeah, exactly. They could go so many different ways with this, like in the next coming episodes. I'm curious to see what like path they decide to walk down, and how how dynamic that path is. Can we go back and make these major changes? And if we do go back, like, can we still explain to Chloe what has happened, or does Max have to live with all of these new decisions that she's making by herself? And like that's what makes her the hero of the story, is like making the hard choices for everyone involved. Or if she'll be able to be happy in the end. I guess you'll have to kind of figure it out as we go along. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The ramifications. Ooh.
This could be very, very cool. I'm excited to see where they take it from here. Yeah. But it was a good episode.
Absolutely. The ending really, of course, drove it home.
Yeah.
It was pretty slow before.
Before this point. Slow build, but it takes you exactly where you want to be to enter the next episode immediately. For sure.
Strong finish for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 3 of Life is Strange. Thanks for watching with us, and yeah, we'll see you guys for episode 4.
Yeah, if any of you guys are still with us, then thanks. We appreciate it. We know we've had some delays,
Yeah.
but we're trying to get this stuff moving as long as we're allowed to without getting
exactly. Yeah.
repeatedly punched in the face by life.
Yeah.
And we'll try to bring you some happy games and happiness.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We'll continue playing Life is Strange till the end for you guys. Thankfully, we want to see the end.
That's the plan, man. Don't promise that.
Yeah, that's true. Until everything stops working.
Piano.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as we say that, like, now time shifts backwards, and like we gotta play Life is Strange again. But yeah,
Is my computer on fire?
Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, I definitely want to see where they're going to take this to the end.
Yeah.
They got my attention for sure. So yeah, looking forward to it. We'll see you guys in the next episode. More Life is Strange.
See you guys next time.
See you next time.
Fine.
Yeah, if we say, "Are they okay?" and Chloe's like, "No, actually, my dad is such a dick. I wish he was dead." That makes our decision for us.
I mean,